Hello everyone, I'm in San Francisco and today I'm going across the country to Fort Lauderdale, Florida on board a ship. This will be a unique journey from the Pacific to the Atlantic through the Panama Canal on board the Coral Princess. Day 5, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Day 8, Puerto Quezal, Guatemala. Day 10, Punta Arenas, Costa Rica. Day 12, Panama. Day 13, the Panama Canal. We're finally here and underway. It's shortly before 6 a.m. and in the background you see the lights of all of the ships waiting for their turn at the canal. At the Pacific anchorage, the first of 3 canal pilots board our ship and we're underway to the Pacific entrance. The sun is up in time when we come to the Bridge of the Americas, which link the northern and southern Pan American Highway. Behind Bridge of the Americas is the Port of Balboa, Panama's busy Pacific gateway. Right behind that, we get to our first locks. The locks enable vessels to essentially climb a mountain, well, an 85 feet high crossing through the Continental Divide through Central America at the 50-mile-long Isthmus of Panama. There are 3 steps on each side taking vessels 85 feet up to Gatun Lake. On the left is Cocoli, the new set of locks that opened in 2016, which increased Panama Canal's capacity and can accommodate new larger ships, known as NEO or New Panamax ships. On the right is Miraflores. Our ship, the Coral Princess, is a Panamax ship, so we're taking the original historic locks that opened in 1914. In the background, you see Miraflores locks. We're waiting for the mules right now to take us in. While in the lock chamber, electric locomotives, known affectionately as mules, keep ships centered in the chamber. They do not power the ship, but rather steer them. No mules have ever done this job. They always have been electric locomotives since the canal opened. Pilots command the mules by radio, and the mules respond using bells. Since we are a Panamax ship, we get 8 mules, 4 in the front and 4 in the back. The gates close, and up we go! Water is fed from Gatun Lake upstream, and ships and water are moved solely by gravity. Each chamber is filled in about 10 minutes. Here at Miraflores, we will go up 54 feet. At the next lock, Pedro Miguel, we will go up another 31 feet to the 85-foot lake level. We move through the lock at a brisk walking pace of 1 mile per hour. Here what it looks like in real time as we approach the gates of the second chamber. We're now at Miraflores Lake. In the background, you can see Pedro Miguel and the new locks. Actually, the channel for the new locks that runs parallel with us. We make a short sail across Lake Miraflores and take our third step 31 feet up at Pedro Miguel. As we approach Pedro Miguel, we see line workers, known as marinos, catch and deliver ships' lines from a rowboat to the mules. Just like the bells on the mules, so quaint. But if the system works, then why mess with tradition? An alarm rings before the gates open or close. We see the end of a gate opening here in real time. After crossing Pedro Miguel, we go under the Centennial Bridge, so named to celebrate Panama's centennial. The Pan American Highway also runs here. The Centennial Bridge spans the Culebra Cut, also known as the Gilliard Cut. This narrow cut through the Continental Divide was a difficult construction challenge and caused the French initial attempt at the Panama Canal to fail. As we approach Gamboa, we get a glimpse of the Panama Canal Railway and the Chagres River, which was dammed to create Gatun Lake, enabling the entire canal system to work. We also changed pilots here. As we sailed through the canal, it was simply amazing seeing the volume of shipping traffic that moves through here. You know about it, you hear about it, they do not leave an impression until you see it in person. Three hours after departing Pedro Miguel, we reached the Atlantic locks. To the right is Aqua Clara, the new locks, and we wait for our turn at the old locks at Gatun. Here both the old and the new locks take 3 steps down, 85 feet in total, down to the Atlantic Ocean. By now, I wanted a different perspective, so I went down to level 5. It was quite an incredible sight seeing the side of the chamber wall right outside the window. Here's a time lapse of us lowering and moving through the second chamber. I'm here on the Promenade Deck, and now let's go see how close we are to the side of the wall. With us being a Panamax ship, there's only about 1.5 meters or 4.5 feet total between us and the side of the chamber, which means that there's only about 2 feet here to the side of the wall. The mules will have to do their job well so we don't scrape the side of the ship. I forgot to mention, in addition to the pilots, marinos, linesmen from the canal, also go on board ships to work the lines to the mules. Here. No mules needed for these boats. We say goodbye to the mules and our final lock at Gatun. We also say goodbye to our final pilot as we approach the Atlantic Bridge. It took us 11 hours from bridge to bridge to cross the Panama Canal. According to our captain, toll for our transit was about $750,000, the fee calculated using the number of berths on board.
As the Atlantic Bridge recedes behind us, I just want to share how incredible the day it was today. To see and cross the historical locks, of course, was amazing, but what was more interesting was seeing the wall, how close the wall it was to us from level 5, seeing the narrow passage of the Gilliard cut. That was also pretty incredible.
And as a history, transportation, and engineering buff, I was happy to finally check the Panama Canal off my list. After we passed Cologne, Panama's port on the Atlantic side, we entered a very turbulent Caribbean Sea. Overnight, we got hit by high winds and high swells, and my white window on deck 11 was not from rain, but from sea spray. I don't think anybody was swimming that day.
Day 14, Cartagena, Colombia. Day 17, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. After 16 days at sea, what an experience it was to travel from the west coast of the United States to the east coast via ship, just like what people did before the days of the airplane. We say goodbye to the Coral Princess. Bye!
Please check out my other Panama Canal video where you can see the full transit with 2 cameras in time-lapse along with ship tracking data. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.